Hello everyone, welcome to our program today with the Universal Peace Federation. My name is Ray LaPalkin, and what we're trying to promote at the Universal Peace Federation is interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universally shared values. So by putting God at the center of these concepts, we can really bring hope, peace, and reconciliation, not just to America, but throughout the world. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of our program of the Peace Starts With Me virtual rally. But before we do that, I'd like to do some reading from one of our co-founders, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. And this is from his autobiography as a peace-loving global citizen. A religion is like a wide river flowing through an ideal, peaceful world. The river flows for long distances before it comes to the wide expanse of peace. On its way, many streams flow into it. The streams cease to be streams from the point they meet the river. From that point, they too become part of the river. In this way, they become one. The river does not reject any of the streams that flow into it. It accepts them all. It embraces all the streams and forms a single flow as it continues toward the ocean. People in the world today do not understand this simple truth. The streams that seek out the river and flow into it are the numerous religions and denominations of today. Each stream traces its origin to a different spring, but they are all going to the same destination. They are seeking the ideal world overflowing with peace. Peace will never come to this earth unless we first tear down the walls between religions. For thousands of years, religions have grown in alliance with particular ethnic groups, and so they are surrounded by high cultural walls. Tearing these down is an extremely difficult task. For thousands of years, each religion has surrounded itself with such high walls, insisting that it is the only correct religion. In some cases, religions have expanded their influence and entered into conflicts and fights with other religions, using God's name in activities that had nothing to do with His will. The will of God lies in peace. A world fragmented by differences in nationality, race, and religion, where people attack and fight one another and shed one another's blood, is not what God wants. When we shed blood and fight each other in His name, we only cause Him pain. A world torn to shreds has been created out of the desires of people to promote their own wealth and glory. It does not represent the will of God. God clearly told me so. I am only His errand boy, receiving His words and carrying them out on earth. The path to bring about a world of peace in which religions and races become united has been exhausting. Many times I was rejected by people, or my own abilities fell short. But I could not put aside this mission. When members and colleagues who worked with me would cry out in anguish because of the difficulty of the task, I would even feel envious of them. If you decide this path isn't for you, you have an option to stop and turn back, I told them. Or if you try and still can't accomplish it, you have the option to die trying. But you should pity me. I said, I am a person with no such options. There are close to 200 countries in the world. For all these countries to enjoy peace, the world of religion is absolutely necessary. The power of religion is in the love that overflows from it. I am a religious person whose role is to convey love, so it's natural that I would work for world peace. There is no difference between Islam and Christianity and their commitment to bring about a world of peace. In America, I lead a movement for peace, bringing together thousands of clergy who have transcended denominations. Through this movement, we discuss ways that people of all faiths, Christian, Muslim, Jew, Buddhist, etc., can come together. We devote our full efforts to change the hardened hearts of people. My purpose is the same today as it was yesterday. It's to create one world with God at the center. A world brought together like a single nation without boundaries. All humanity will be the citizens of this world, sharing a culture of love. In such a world, there will be no possibility for division and conflict. This will mark the beginning of a truly peaceful world. Again, that's the autobiography from Dr. Moon. Again, if you're interested in a copy, please get in touch with me. Be happy to get it to you. So at this time, then, we're going to watch part 2 of our Peace Starts With Me rally. It's titled Come Together Children. And again, there's going to be some entertainment, and we've got some panelists and some great discussion that's going to take place. So please enjoy.
Again, folks, if you're joining us right now, you are participating in the second ever live Peace Starts With Me virtual rally. This one themed Come Together Children. And if you want to donate to the cause, you can do it right now by texting Peacemaker to 33444. Text Peacemaker to 33444. Become a part of this. It's expanding all over the world. Let's be a part of Peace Starts With Me together as one family under God. All right, now I don't know about you guys, but I love Chicago and I want to stay a little while longer. So get ready to give it up for some spirit, some youth, some energy from Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago.
We've got a special treat tonight. Welcome Walt Whitman's Soul Children of Chicago.
Everybody put your hands together like this. Come on. Put your hands together like this. We the Soul Children of Chicago come to celebrate with you life, love, and a pursuit of happiness. So with one sound and with one voice, we come to let everybody know, no matter what the problem may be, I'm gonna lift him up. Said I got victory. I got the victory, for he is my king. He's the reason. He's the reason. Let me hear you say it again. No matter what the problem I'm gonna live for the whole world to see. I've got the victory. For he is my king. He's the reason that I sing. He said it. One more time, he said it. Be lifted up. God has got his hands on you, and that nothing can stop you
Over the years, great men and women have paved the way for peace. They stood up to injustice, shared a kind word, risked everything, and made it easier for everyday people like you and me to make this world a better place.
When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Let us all together thank God for this beautiful occasion where we can all together proclaim the joy of spreading peace in the world.
We know it well that none of us acting alone can achieve success.
Now this century, 21st century, should be century of dialogue in order to develop peaceful century.
I want there to be peace everywhere. We can work together and show the world that we are together fighting for an important cause.
We must move forward together as one in a renewed spirit of fraternity and solidarity, cooperating generously for the common good.
진정한 자유, 평등, 평화, 통일, 행복한 세상은 멀리 있는 것이 아닙니다.
All right, now our dear sister and nationally syndicated radio angel Liz Black is here to host the second ever live peace panel on the Peace Starts With Me rally. It's great to see you, Liz.
You too, Reverend Dunkley. How are you doing?
I'm having a great time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here today. And hi, everybody. How you doing? We are here. This is the Peace Panel. I'm going to introduce you to everyone that is on the panel today. First, I'll start with Reverend Louise Scott Roundtree. We also have Yavi Benzi. We have Reverend Mark Abernathy and also Brian Fender. So welcome everyone to the panel. Good to see you today. Are you ready to rock and roll?
We're ready.
All right, because this is the Peace Panel and we're going to do our best to bring insight and of course peace, because peace starts with me. So we're going to start with the first question. It is, are we a divided nation? Are we a divided world? And I'm going to start, Yavi, I'm going to start with you.
All right. Yes, good question and good afternoon. Very pleased to be here. Are we a divided nation? In many aspects, I can say yes. If we look at the world around us, we are divided into so many countries and different ethnicities and languages and religions. So very difficult to say we are not divided. But it's always important to look beyond those small divisions and understand that we're all people. All people are 99.9 same DNA, so we're practically the same. And especially during this time of the coronavirus, we can see a lot of people overcoming these barriers and being able to work together and help each other, different countries, different people from all fields, doctors, police, politicians, working together towards helping each other. So in a sense, we are all very divided, but at the same time, when there is a higher cause, we are all united. So I hope I answered your question. Yes, good.
That's a great way for us to just go right into Brian, because I know Brian is waiting to answer the same question. Brian, are you on the same page also in believing that we are a divided nation, a divided world?
Well, yes, because I think we've always been a divided world. This nation has always been divided as well. When we go back into scripture and when we go back to the history of times, which connects with scripture, the science of it, we see that these people were divided in tribes and it grew out of their families. And this is something that's been going on since the beginning of time. And what's been happening is that now we are getting to the point, our 400 years as Afro Americans in this country, as Black people, as folks who were our ancestors were imported like 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 product into this country.
Property.
Yes, exactly, and treated as property. And so we have always been lacking unity even with ourselves. So I want to talk a little bit about our families who were broken up during these times. And a lot of people don't really know that they weren't sending the old, they sent old folk, of course, like our elderly, but they were sending a lot of young kids, babies, children, because they were more controllable. They were more, so that's why we're so disconnected and we don't know who we are. And I think it lies in everyone really understanding history and the education that is not only in our country, but around the globe. We all have to unify in that aspect. I do think, however, there always will be division because there will always be folks who will not necessarily see eye to eye in a, whether it's a spiritual level, whether it's a physical, this is what I want, the control of my body for the government to have over me, or, the connection to the church and the state and these principles that many do value, whereas many of our generations, whether they be the older or the younger generations, are still at a crossroad with certain concepts, whether that be acceptance or whether that be even understanding and empathy. And I feel like we all have to kind of find that middle ground so we can accept our pride family. When I say that, I mean our gay brothers and sisters and etc., as well as understand the importance and the value of building strong nuclear families.
And that's...
No, go ahead, Reverend Roundtree.
And I speak to people all the time. I work with, as you know, a very large interfaith alliance. It's Muslims, Christians, people from all walks of life. And the truth is, my message is this: it's not about your faith, your denomination. It's about humanity. So as faith-based leaders, we really set the example because we say that we follow God. And if we're following God, then what examples are we for the young people like Brian, for the young people like Yavi? If we're not setting an example, that just because you're a Christian and you follow Islam, that we can't come together and pray together, hold hands together, for the sake of the people. What we do in our houses of worship is one thing. So I always believe that the faith leads the fight for unity. And because some of us are not on one accord and some of us are not unified, then that also creates another area. Because when we talk about not like an orange, so I don't like you, some folks don't even want to be in the same room with people of different faiths.
Right.
Because now, if you're strong in your faith, if you know, Pastor Abernathy, that nothing is going to change your belief, that means you can stand in the room with anybody and on a firm foundation, not be intimidated, not be concerned, but still be on one accord for the sake of the people and show a united front. And that's what we're missing with not just faith leaders, but people across the board. If it's not my fight, I'm not coming to it. If I'm not leading it, if I'm not the one in the ring, if I'm not the guest speaker, if it's not my platform, if my child is not up front, I mean, all of these things, I'm telling you,
selfish.
If we don't start pushing people and setting examples for the Bryans and the Yavis in this world today, then we're gonna mess around and have a bunch of museums with no young people in charge. And thank God Newark is not on that because we have a leader that pushes and elevates our young people. Because we know, Liz, you and I are not going to be here. I hope we are. I know that Methuselah lived to be quite. I don't know whether we're going to be around 200 years from now, but we want someone to be able to deliver their message to make a difference regarding unity.
Yeah.
But the peace and the unity starts with us.
Reverend Aberthany, I know you have something to say about that.
Yeah, I know time is running, and Brian, I love what you had to say, buddy.
Yes.
I'm on board with you, man. I wanna congratulate you for fighting the fight. If some to be honest with the world here, if the white don't stand up and voice their opinion of support for the blacks, that's where he just stated this earlier indirectly, but to support them, they're not going to advance to this place where people, because this world is set up on color. It's terrible. That's why we got to get back to human rights in our world. We are hung up on color and stuff that just blows my mind. And we've got to educate. The first thing he said when he first started was education and then family. But you know, the importance is family. The family is very, 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 very vital. And the culture that has the black culture has failed in that area a little bit. Where's the white trying to make this a difference? Where are they trying to support the inner city or in their churches with this? My church is 75% African American. So I tell people all the time, you're talking up the wrong tree here. A white man can pastor black folks. You just got to do it the right way with the right attitude. And they got to know you love them. And that's the whole key. Yes. When they know you love, trust goes a long way. But if you ever lose trust in a leader, you're through. You're over with. And that's what our young people has done. They have lost trust in leaders. They have lost trust in the older ones. And the only turnaround for this is for us standing together. And I wish I was in that room with him right now, holding his hand and going, hey, man, I'll fight with you to the end. Amen. Because it takes that if we're going to make a change.
That's right.
And that'll take me to the next question, which is, do you feel COVID-19 has caused more separation?
It has in certain ways, but because it's locked us up in homes. But I think some of these people that were married for the last few years and had kids, they just realized they had children for the first time.
Yeah.
They realized that they were letting other people raise them, and now they're having to raise them. And they're seeing the importance of responsibility, which is, you know, one of the key things that Father Moon and Mother Moon talked about when I was 25 years old and I first met them. I thought, wow, this is some radical talking. He brought about how that in the garden they were given a choice, and then to take human responsibility and move that forward is where we fail in that story. And that when we don't take human responsibility for teaching and rearing our children, you know, the daycare raises most of our children. I heard just last year that 69, just this, I'm talking Atlanta, but 69% in one county of children that goes home from middle school, 69% of them goes home to an empty house, a single mother, and a key to their own house, and they stay there till work time. These are a lot of things we've got to change. This is not just one color. This is everybody involved here. And what we have done is we think that we could just live together without marrying. This is what true father and mother talked a lot about, that the mix up in the relationship and blessing of the couple of marriage has destroyed our world. When Eve and Adam saw God hollering at them, the first thing they hid was their lower parts because they had messed up. And that has, the lower parts of human life, our bodies, has been a destruction to our world in many, many ways because of uncontrolled things that takes place. It's brought diseases. It's brought unwanted children. I mean, God, nothing's unwanted, but you know, they didn't plan it. Let's put it that way. And it just not plan. And these children are out here by themselves. I'm raising one right now, a grandson of mine that, you know, from a girl that was Jewish that her dad threw her out. We took her in, and Now we're raising 2 grandchildren because it ain't their fault. It's not their fault. Where does peace start with them? Through me. I have got to become the Christ to them. I've got to become, and this is what it was taught through True Parents teaching to us, was to live for the sake of others, to lend and never expect it in return, to go beyond. So True Mother is now pacing the stage. Father has passed on, and she is trying to unify the body of Christ, or the body of faith believers, to come together. And boy, it's been a battle, because like Brian said, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack with some of this. It's almost impossible. But if we 5 can find a way to unify and then start building bonds from there, I mean, we can turn this away. We can turn this around. We may not be able to change the whole world, but if we can change our children around us and those we touch. So peace has to start with me first.
Okay, peace starts with me. We talked about love. We talked about, what are we going to do from here? What actions can we take when this Zoom is over? When the rally, peace starts with me, children come together. When the rally is over, then what? Who'd like to start?
I'll jump in.
Okay, Brian.
You know, for me, it's like defining the peace and the peace within that's so important. And what has started with me is the outpouring of love that I feel from my friends and my family and my mentors, and even watching many things. Peace starts with me, and then knowledge, and then sharing that knowledge and sharing that education, working with the children. So in my community, trying to do that through the organizations that I work with, trying to dedicate my life to just uplifting the voices of the oppressed and the unheard, trying to keep on growing, and knowing that I don't have all the answers, but nor does any other human, but Jah does. Yahweh has the answers. And I think we've been saying that, and it's beautiful that this conversation ends with this question, because we definitely, many of you, Yavi, Reverend, and Pastor Mark, you all have nailed it on the head. And even Miss Liz Black, you came in and said so many brilliant points that it's like, even someone like me, I could watch this again and understand that it's all about what we're doing. We're connecting, and we're sharing this energy of love, and embodying the spirit. And this is what we are called to do, to fellowship and to get out there and help the most vulnerable. God bless you all.
God bless you too, Brian. Yavi?
I think so too. What you're saying is absolutely right. The peace starts with me, and then what? You're filled with God's love. Naturally, it will flow out of you. You can't keep it for yourself. You gotta pass it on. You see someone who is in trouble, who has a problem paying rent, he has a problem with his family, his children. You pass on this love to them. You talk to them. You reach out naturally. You don't even think about it. It flows out of you. I think this is God's love, and God is absolutely a God of love. Why? Because if he would be a God of suffering, he would have trouble with us. We're passing on this love. He would have trouble stopping us. And I think he's absolutely not stopping us. We have this amazing opportunity to talk to each other from different countries, from different backgrounds. And if God is a God of love, then we are absolutely doing the right thing. And I can protest about Father and Mother Moon right here next to me, that they have lived their whole entire life in this way, living for the sake of others, loving those who hurt them, those who go against them. And this is something that is absolutely amazing, and that we can learn from and follow. And if peace starts with me, naturally, after you realize this, it will flow out of you. You can't control it. You can't stop it. It's inevitable.
You can't stop it. There's nothing you could do. God's love is inside. You have to give it out. You can't help it. You just can't. I feel God right now. So, okay. So this has been a wonderful time. I want to thank you all. I feel like we are just one big happy family. Group hug, group hug, group hug. This is great. And I know those of you that are watching, you've been able to feel the love of God today. This has been the Peace Panel. So as you know, peace starts with me. Come together. Children is the rally. And we just thank you for being a part of the Peace panel today. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and just be a blessing to others and definitely a blessing to me. So know that I love you and I look forward to staying in contact with you all. And those of you that have tuned in, we love you. And remember, peace starts with me.
For the reconciliation for all.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the discussion and the entertainment. At this time, I'd like to do a little bit more reading, this time from the other co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation, Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon, and I'm going to be reading from her memoir, The Mother of Peace. Religion should be our lifelong companion. True religion teaches the nature of God, the reality of God's love, and how to live in that love. True love means living for the sake of others, serving others, not being served. True love means to forgive endlessly. Goodness is to serve others and let go of the memory of having done so. When we give and forget, true love flourishes. Circumstances and environments change, but true love stays the same. True love is the power that unites a man and a woman eternally. True love transforms every sadness and pain into joy. When our mindset changes from wishing to receive love to wishing to give love, the world of peace will be at hand. A filial child considers what he can do for his parents and courageously follows through. When we convey filial devotion to all people, and everyone lives for the sake of others, that will be the kingdom of heaven. Filial devotion is a preeminent practical virtue as well as an eternal pillar of life. True parents' guiding life philosophy is live for the sake of others. If you constantly put others first and live for their sake, you are on the path to eternal freedom and blessing. A truly successful life is not powered by money, position, or authority. It is powered by true love. No matter the difficulties we face, the answer is to practice absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. Your life is a gift from God. God's will for us is that we make our lives beautiful and worthwhile. Your heart is your closest teacher. Your heavenly parent who loves you resides deep in your heart. You are designed to hear God's true voice. We all need to hone our ability to hear God's whisper in our hearts. Your heart is your eternal guardian. Heartfelt prayer is the passageway to God. The sea is the symbol of the mother and the icon of motherhood. God's fundamental purpose was to enjoy a parent-child relation of love with us. My husband, Reverend Moon, lived by the mantra, sincere devotion moves heaven. Our task is characterized by true love, the heart of giving and wishing we could give more. We are one family and one holy community of heavenly parents. A true and lasting peace can only be achieved when we come to know and understand our heavenly parent, God. Only by connecting to God's will and providence can we expect to create lasting solutions. Let's work together toward the bright, new, hopeful era of the settlement of God's kingdom. Heavenly Parent, God created the family to be the environment of the greatest happiness and goodness. So again, putting God at the center of our lives, our family, our nation, is really a prerequisite and a necessity for peace and reconciliation within America and throughout the world. So I hope you enjoyed these words, and I hope you enjoyed our program today. And if you have any questions or you'd like to study these principles further, please get in touch with me. Thank you so much.